Brittany writes in chat, it feels like Joe is peeing on Rob, marking his territory. Which brings me to my next point.
I'm cool with it.
David Koechner, Joe Robinson, we
Okay.
prepared a little something here that I would love to run by you, and this is courtesy of the matriarch of DLP, beautiful Katie Robinson, her garden upstairs you got to meet. She had a great idea saying, Joe, you were when you got married, Rob was your best man.
He was.
David Koechner, this is probably the greatest relationship. There it is right there. We got a little something here.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That probably the greatest relationship Rob has had for years.
Show.
Here we go.
It's now
So we're going to play a game called Who Knows Rob Better?
God, my penmanship is shit.
We're going to ask you a series of questions. Right. Rob knows the answers to these, and I have some additional ones. Watch out now. Where we're going to ask you a series of questions, and you gentlemen will write your answers down, and you'll reveal. And we'll see who knows Rob Mayer better. At the end of it, gets to keep Rob. That's good. What is that, Crystal Light?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of the DLP Agenda with the man I spend more time with anyone in the world. David Koechner joins the show.
Good evening, Rob.
Welcome, friend.
Gentlemen, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Well, do people say David Koechner when they finally get to be near you in presence, in person, office trivia? What's the tour? It's got a great name. Filthy Lies, Blue Skies.
Dirty Lies and Blue Skies.
Dirty Lies and Blue Skies. When they see you, do they look up not realizing you are about the height of an NBA player?
Well, I wear boots that give me 1.5 inches.
I've seen you without
there.
there.
I could wear a boot in my pants. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hey, now.
Put some heels on that.
Running.
Yeah, because I looked up at you like a big brother, little brother program, like you were walking me around in a bad neighborhood.
Now, have you been in a fight?
No, never.
You've never been in a fight?
Never been in a fight.
You've never been in one fight in your life?
You almost wanted to fight the white rapper at the San Diego.
Wow.
He told us the story of you guys having people squat in your green room.
And
I've
then,
heard of.
And then step to us.
Right.
And they got froggy.
Yeah.
They like bowed their chest out.
Yeah. But they were all scrawny. Well, they had the one big kid. He was
that was the one Rob was going to fight.
He was the muscle. Yeah.
I was just confounded. So we're in San Diego. We walk into the green room.
First show.
And there's first show Thursday night. And there's 4 kids on the couch. I say kids, they're in their 20s. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what are you doing here? I don't remember the whole conversation.
No, what are you doing?
Hey, real quick, did they recognize you?
No. But they said, we're the opener. I'm like, you're not my opener.
This is my opener.
It's not your show.
You're Rob Mayer?
Yeah, it was weird. And then they got up and like, oh, okay. It was like, we're the rappers. Like,
now, where's Rob at this time when this is happening?
You just at the door?
I'm just there, not helping.
Right? Get him, Dave.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And did I leave and come back with the manager? Or we figured it
you
out?
You left Rob in there?
Yeah, and then we did a rapping together. I did a beatboxing. We wrote a quick song.
You laid it down.
They were at the wrong venue.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, at what point could you not tell you're in a comedy club?
Yeah, you don't see
obvious.
musicians on the walls.
Yeah.
There's no rapper.
Yeah.
No one's doing a sound check. No turntables are getting set up. There's like
the security guard ushered them downstairs and brought them backstage.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't ask?
Maybe he's a big fan of that, right?
Right? The single question.
I believe we called that episode Bone Thugs and Comedy.
Yeah.
When we aired it.
I wonder if they were any good.
I'm sure they weren't. Hello to everyone in chat. We got Pam, we got Rob, we got Carrie, Rodney, Brittany,
what's up, Kelsey,
Steph,
Ed Van Arsdale,
Ariel, all the good people here.
That logged in.
These are all people joining us in the chat
listening
right
live.
Now. Questions, comments, anything for our special guest, Dave Koechner. We were talking outside to continue this whole like green room debacle. You got things like somebody from the prior show leaving it a disaster. You have someone, Helium Philly, has a famously nice but small green room that if someone uses the bathroom in the worst way, it completely London fogs it up.
Yeah.
And we were talking outside that a pet peeve of yours are the people that sign the wall.
We both hate that. You wanted to paint the wall in Raleigh
did.
this past weekend, which would have been a great power move.
God bless anybody that likes to do it, but
Lenny Bruce.
Well, that's he wouldn't do it. I mean, it's just annoying because everybody else has to add a joke, or it's usually people that are less well known will write their name huge
block
letters and then discover halfway through their name that they don't know how to do block letters.
It disintegrates off into nothing.
Right. They start shading it the wrong way and just annoying.
You know, I watched a video this past week. You know who Jackson Holiday is? So Jackson Holiday plays for the Orioles. He was
Okay.
the number one
No, no.
prospect in the minor leagues. They
Wow.
just called him up.
Okay.
And his first series was against the Boston Red Sox. And a lot of guys go in there and sign inside the scoreboard. The baseball players do.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he was looking for his dad's name, and he wanted to, because his
That's
dad,
pretty
Matt
cool.
Holiday,
Okay.
also
That's
played.
interesting.
So yeah,
Did he
so
play for St. Louis?
Yeah, he did. Matt Holiday.
Okay.
If you remember Matt Holiday, yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're in the room, and you have to. It's a small room, and you have to just see what everyone's written. It's not, if you're signing the scoreboard, that's different. I'd be fine if you signed a different wall outside the room, or even the bathroom.
The Comedy
walls.
Store.
Yes, even the bathroom walls. Fine.
Yeah,
but
because the last thing a comic wants is to read jokes. I don't want. What are you trying to be funny for me?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
handwritten open mic night on the
Right.
wall. I was here, or was I? I crushed until I bombed. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I know what you're saying. I will say that there is something romantic about when you go back to the DC Improv, because they sign it as you walk out, and you say, "Oh, Dave Chappelle signed." Like you see names
well,
of
where is it?
people.
It's not in the green.
Well, it's interesting
you're right, it's
to
not.
Joe's point, and they recently redid within the last year or two. The DC Improv had this little secret hallway that run around the room, and you came out on stage, and there was some exposed particle board, and you would sign that, and there'd be, like you said, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, we signed it and stuff like that.
yeah.
Well, they redid it,
All the greats.
and they got rid of that.
Yeah.
They got rid of that back area, and they took that piece of plywood. Do you know what they did with that piece of plywood? They threw it the fuck away. They shotgunned it into a trash
How
can
little they care. Yeah.
and said, "See you on the other side." They didn't give a shit. That went right in the garbage.
Yeah.
Wow. Apparently, the last club we were at had a wall that had been signed.
Well, it was Good Nights is a famous club,
Yes.
and
Charlie Goodnights,
yeah,
right?
right. And now they've we were there a year and a half ago. It was temporary in an old
my gosh.
cafeteria.
It was literally in a cafeteria.
Literally, yeah,
Like a 3-inch stage.
yeah. And now the new room is very nice.
Beautiful.
It's in this, except if you want to park. And
Yes.
it's,
Parking's difficult.
it's in like a little shopping center. It's next to a Shake Shack, which we love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave,
was
you're
very
the
good.
Yeah.
closest in age to me, to
Okay.
anybody here is in the room.
I'm your
But to
dad,
me,
hurtful.
whenever I'm almost your age.
Okay.
We're almost the same age.
He gets a discount at diners.
So, so I find whenever somebody says, "Hey, let's go do this," the first thing I say is, "What's the parking like?"
Nice.
Are you the same way? Is it
Probably-
something that old people do?
I don't have enough foresight.
Or time to do anything.
Yeah, because I know in LA what the parking is. So if we're
It doesn't
here,
exist.
we're just going to be subjected to wherever we're going. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have choices. If
Right.
we're going, we're going.
But this guy I always compliment because, I did a little stint on the road that I think might have lasted. I think my comedy career was about 18 months of road work
Okay.
with stints that might go 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops.
Okay.
Then I see him,
Yeah.
you out on the road. I mean, 2 years at a time.
Dude,
And
we're both
every time
surprised.
he goes, Rob really takes advantage of the city. I mean, he sees parks. He goes to like landmarks.
We like to walk.
You don't.
He's
just, like,
masturbated in every major city.
every
Yeah,
major.
yeah.
He's jacked
Yes.
off on the.
That's
element.
how I signed the
Okay.
wall.
There you
Yeah,
go.
he said this is for Davy Crockett, and just right up against it. But this guy travels well. I mean, for a guy that opens for you like Rob, we're going to get into your history. We've actually got a very fun quiz. Who knows Rob better,
This will be
Joe
fun.
Robinson or you, David Koechner? How important is it to have an opener who's not just obviously he's just disastrously
He's a
funny,
good comic.
Yes.
but
Right.
off stage, in the hotel, in the airport, in the car, someone you can be around that while they might be A-level funny on stage, they could be a D- level person. They could be bad at traveling. They could be a mess in hotels. You get a call to your room at 1 a.m. Oh shit, Rob took his dick out into Build-A-Bear. Well, you don't have to worry about that
No.
stuff. How important is that?
Well, we got on right away. The first time we met in
Arlington Cinema
Arlington.
Draft Hatch. We'll be back here in November, October.
and
believe.
I just started. I forget. Yeah, I must have just started, or I must have been doing it for like 3 years.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think because I didn't start stand up till I had my 5th kid, and then but I've always done live comedy.
Yeah.
But I realized then I have to always be extra employable, all based on my schedule,
Yeah.
right? Not having to wait for someone else's. So we met and hit it off, and by then I was already starting to realize I don't want this rotating a list of features.
It's a gamble when you go to a town and say, we got a guy to feature for you.
Yeah.
But it's
And,
also
you know,
work, right? That person's you don't know what you're gonna get. You're gonna have to
Interview.
deal with whatever
yeah,
that is. Yeah.
Problem because
Yeah.
Rob knows I would get interviewed every weekend.
Yeah.
From the new
Oh,
feature.
yeah.
You know, what's Will Ferrell like?
Mhm.
What's and then
What is he like?
He's a lovely human being. But Rob and I, our shows are completely different. And so I guess probably the big thing was you don't have kids.
Right.
And basically every feature that I would ever have would be in his 30s, and he starts talking about kids. And like my shows kind of like, I don't know, 40%.
Especially then.
There's too much overlap.
Yes.
That if the well's been run dry by the time you get up,
I tell them they got to cut it.
Yeah.
It bumps. So like now we do a 2-man show.
Yeah, no, we went to see you when you were at Magoobys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he does a powerful half an hour. I do an hour. We do that 8 minutes together. We
Yeah.
play 8 to 10, which is unique. So it's a really good show. People don't expect Rob to be that good. They don't.
Yeah.
The feature is great. And
yeah. Well, Rob's got a lot of miles on him.
Really?
He's I mean, to do that much stand up, Rob is obviously
when
great.
you get the reps that Rob does, I mean, they obviously know you from all of your work and sketch and stand up and improv. But then he's sort of the special surprise that when they leave, they know what they got with David Koechner and they're happy for it. But then they get to find out about Rob.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
It's fun. No.
We want a 90-minute show, but they also you say they know about David Koechner, but they don't. They know you as an actor.
Right.
They know you on SNL, but they don't really know you as a stand-up.
Right.
So I feel like the whole show, they're kind of obviously you have an expectation, you're excited, but I think they're surprised that.
But a lot of what
you have like an act, you're not just telling stories.
Because I watched you, like I said, I also watch it differently. So does Justin. We watch. I wish I could just sit back and enjoy it, but we don't.
No,
we can't watch it that way. But when you went through the crowd, and I guess you do that pretty regularly, God, it was really fucking excellent, man. It really was, and I really enjoyed it, right? Because obviously, what crowd work's different because you're hearing it the same time I'm hearing it for the first time, right? And you were really good. I'm sure some of those things you borrowed from other whatever, but that you earned that because they were funny when you said them. And God, it really was a pleasure to watch that happen. It really was.
Can start as a riff, and then you
Well,
take it to another town.
Somebody told you to do that.
When I started stand-up, Dana Gould said, "Find a reason to go out in the audience. You're from TV; they'll love it."
Yeah,
and it was revelatory.
Yeah,
because it's really very simple, and they're just allowing me. Plus, I'm complimenting all the women in that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge.
Well, that's another thing that you did. You had this,
even if they're disgusting,
where you would go back to the same woman over and over again about how you wanted to marry her or whatever. Yeah. That's obviously that's something that you'll be able to probably do every show, and it worked beautifully. It was really good. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you've molded it into whatever that was, but I don't know if I just saw you on a great night, but I'm guessing not because Rob told me the next show was even better. But the show, and I'm not just kissing your ass. I mean, we know stand up, and it was, and you also hadn't been doing stand up that long, really. You've been doing movies and you've been doing improv.
Years ago?
No, I'm talking about I saw you. What was that last month, right? At Magoobys.
No, we've been on a three-year
tour. Right. But when I say that long, I'm saying Rob's been doing it for 15 or for 30 years or whatever.
For you to be the caliber you are, this technically
you're great.
Distance in the stand-up, you've got 15, 20 years of capability in 5 years of time. It's remarkable to watch.
Well, but I've done live since I was 24.
Okay,
right. So, but that's improv, right?
Sketch and improv.
But,
that's how you put your set together. You're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Did you study under Del Close by any chance?
Yeah.
What an absolute madman that guy was.
You heard the stories. He told the stories. Sometimes they go on too long, and he's like, "Look, can we just do the work?" But he was, basically the messaging from him was, treat comedy like a religion.
Yeah.
It is not to be abused. Don't make it cheap.
Are you familiar with the works of Del Close?
No.
The Del Close Marathon, Del Close, some of the greatest improvers, Second City, SNL, Groundlings. I mean, if anybody out there could work to the level of a Koechner or a Farrell or John C. Reilly, I believe Poehler, Fay, some of the greatest that shoot from the hip going, God, how are they able in that moment to find a way to extend it and level it up? There's a good chance they studied under Del Close, and he was a unique man.
And he taught you a lot?
Oh, yeah. Del is probably the most important person in long-form improvisation.
Do you know where you might have seen him? He was the sinister preacher in the 80s Blob remake.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have seen him there.
It's a great film, and he really sold it. He stole a piece of the Blob at the end after his face was badly burned for a sequel. That never happened. Now, the office trivia is another thing that Rob is sort of added on to your acts.
Yes.
And that was a gamble on your part. And because sometimes some people, we on my radio show from time to time, we'll talk to stars of a certain television program or a movie that they go, I appreciate my time with it, but I'm more than just that. I do something beyond. And you had your time as Todd Packer. You have your time as champ. You do much beyond that. And some people sometimes are hesitant to continue being that character, to live in that world. But you seem to have dove feet first into it when he came to you with office trivia.
Yeah.
And now I hear that's some of the best nights of the weekend.
Well, it's easier for us because we get to do it together.
Yeah.
So you're not.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. The audience has fun. It's like they're going to church. They get so
They
excited.
dress up.
They dress up. It's theirs, right? They have
Yes.
some ownership. I didn't even have a consideration about being like, look, I've done so many different things. I don't even think about like people recognize me as only one. They only recognize me for The Office and Anchorman.
Yeah.
Then they slowly stretch, go out and go, oh my God, he's in that too. And
His catalog's vast.
Yeah. What do you have? 300 IMDb credits?
200 and
Yeah, something
It
crazy.
used to be a trivia question.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But the thing is, people were demanding it anyway. So I have to say lines from The Office and
Yes.
Anchorman in every show. I realize that's why they're there, right? And I didn't used to do it. And then the guy in Nashville's club told me, you got to play the hits, brother.
yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Got to give him the taste.
I thought it'd be bad to do it. I thought ituld be like cheap. But then
And some
Well, it
rebel
is, but
against
it's also required.
yes.
Right. So, because I remember working with John Witherspoon, and his last 30 minutes are lines from Friday.
He's literally reciting
I mean,
lines from
yeah.
Friday, and guess what? The crowd
They love it
Yep.
and they want it, and that's what they
Oh,
what
yeah.
they're there to see.
Everyone
Jimmy
leaves happy.
Walker's still throwing out dynamite.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
to. I know he
Yeah.
doesn't like it, but you have to. I make them wait a half an hour for it. But sometimes they just start yelling whammy early in the show.
Yeah.
And then I just
That's
have
a
to
late
say,
show.
Yeah, I will say whammy, but can
Yeah.
you just give it?
You'll get your whammies.
It
Yeah.
will
Be
get
patient.
in.
But no, you earned it. It is yours. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So
Yes, yeah.
maybe it does feel cheap, and I do kind of understand what you're saying, but it also is required, and it's also your intellectual property. You're the one that created that, and you're the one that made it hilarious, and you're the one that made them love it. So if I was saying it, it is cheap. But if you're saying it, it's really not. It's what. That's how they know you,
Yes.
and you've earned it
You have
for
to
sure.
do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they erupt when it happens. They were waiting, and here it is. There we go. Okay. So yeah.
And you're great in the crowd as far as being on your feet, your improv, things like that. And it does seem we are currently in a time of, and Rob can attest to this, Scott, some of our dear friends have blown up because of it. Stavros
We're just
Halkias.
talking about
We
it.
were talking about
Rory
him.
Scovel.
Rory
Yeah.
Scovel.
Crowd work
Stavros
videos.
more than Rory. Rory improv, Stavros crowd work. That
Yeah.
we live in a crowd work bite-sized
Matt
clip
Rife.
time. Matt
Yeah.
Rife built his entire bones on the thing. Schultz, he had his social commentaries, but now it's all crowd work clips. I mean, I feel like you slot perfectly into that world, being able to immediately jump on something, find something funny, grab that moment, record it, and get it out there. How do you feel about
We've talked about
the
this.
rise of the crowd work comedian that's now filling arenas?
Well, the only issue is the people think that's what every show is.
Yeah.
That's the argument
Yeah.
against it, is it's conditioning a crowd to go, oh, this is an
I'm supposed
exchange.
to talk.
But I
Exactly.
will say
Which
this,
can be
because
difficult.
I watched your crowd work, and it's a lot different than ours because it's kinder. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a very complimentary. I don't know.
No, I
it's-
can't. I have a hard time being an
Yeah, I have no problem at all. And so, but that's not normally
Real
what you see
bastard.
in crowd work, are people having fun at the expense of the audience, and
Right.
that isn't really what you do. So, if I do think that if Rob has suggested that you put that out there, I think that that's the right thing to do, because I do think that people will see that and go, "Wow, that isn't really like what we normally see." It really does seem different to me, and maybe it's just the show that I saw,
That is
but
a
I didn't
unique
see
space.
anything super angry or malicious or anything. I'm not angry when I do it, but I'm definitely trying to make fun of whoever is in front of me.
Right. Well, see, I'm going in the audience later, and I know that, so I'm not going to, be shitty because I'm going to be standing right beside them.
Yeah.
True, but
We-
they also
we-
might like it.
We do this thing with the Office Trivia Show. We always open, raise your hand if you would hire Todd Packard at your job, and it would introduce Todd Packard to your mom. And we're talking about filming those, because those,
Right.
I mean, we had
We get some.
Who
funny
says
exchanges.
yes that they would
People
introduce
do it
Todd
all
Packard?
the time.
about 10% of the crowd, and then he usually has to, is your mom here? Is she there? Is she nearby? And then what job you hire?
Yeah, how
One
many
guy was
times-
like an air traffic controller. It's like, you're trying to get us all killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, when they'll introduce Todd Packard to their mom, and they're still married.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
What are you doing?
They like Todd Packard better than they like their
Right.
dad.
You think Todd Packard's just going to be a friend?
Right.
Todd Packard.
He bangs mom.
Yes.
Yeah, he
He's
hits
not
some
what has
splits.
two thumbs and likes to talk to your mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
We're gonna pray.
pre-orgasm, he's got the Uber app up on his phone.
Yeah.
Right. Can I ask you an office question? I apologize if this has been presented to you before, but I've always heard rumors, as a fan of the show, that it was shot is very tongue-in-cheek. We're making a documentary about this office, a Dunder Mifflin, and one day in the plot of the show, during the confessionals and all that we are shooting a documentary, which was the theme of The Office. That one day that documentary will be shown. That they will take all that confessional footage and what it's like working here and what it's like being in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, the town's name escapes me. Scranton, thank you, with the Froggy 103 station. And that there's rumors of a release one day of that that I've never seen come to fruition, that Office fans think.
Wait, so there's more confessionals that haven't been aired?
The confessions that have already been aired. That's the theme behind the show, as you well know, that a camera crew followed around the daily
at the end
workings.
of the show, they did that documentary came out on the show.
I didn't see.
And then they watched it.
I thought it was supposed to be this hour-long special.
By the way, I don't remember.
I know.
what
Yeah, at
you
the
just
end
said.
of the
Well, they
program,
could.
that there was supposed to be this hour-long thing that never got released. Maybe it was truncated down into that.
Well, they could do anything right now. They're still. I mean,
they're white hot, and that's obviously because you can consume it on Netflix, and there's a whole new audience for it, and things like that.
Extended episodes.
The
on
super,
Paramount,
the
right?
super. I think
Yeah.
it's,
So what it
I think
is?
it's Peacock.
Peacock, right?
It's Peacock.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. Because we go on the radio a lot, and people talk about Second City, and just when you were there, I mean.
Yeah.
The people that were there, it's like, we're big wrestling fans. And
Yeah.
at one point in Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is like the minor leagues,
Good point.
they had John Cena and Bautista and Randy Orton
Wow.
and
Brock Lesnar. Yes.
And it's like, how are these
You ever
guys?
work with Brock Lesnar?
They're all all there together. But you had that times 10 with
so
actors, writers, comedians.
Your class.
It's the who's who. Well, the time that I spent there on stage, all these people moved to Chicago and were playing on various stages. Then all Amy at Second City, because that was a real job.
Yeah.
But we're talking like Chris Farley, Mike Myers, Tim Meadows, Andy Richter, Steve Colbert, Steve Carell, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey. There's a whole host of writers that are not household names that have been writing late night comedy for the past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there at Second City when I was there too. I could go, I need to carry a list around.
Isn't it weird that you kind of graduate from that? That sounds like the top of the heap.
It sounds like a
but
draft.
Saturday Night
class.
Live seems like you made it from there to Saturday Night
right.
Live, which almost sounds a little unfair considering
Well, they
the
did have
talent.
SCTV at one point,
But that was, I mean, do you even remember that?
short-lived.
I do because I'm
Yeah,
old.
I do.
But
I was young enough to watch. I was
Yeah.
airing when I was younger. Yeah.
You watch some of those episodes though, and I mean, they absolutely.
Oh, no, yeah,
trounced
they were-
SNL. Same way Mad TV would. I mean, they all had their time, but to your point about that class of people,
Yep.
I mean, you are swimming with comedic sharks, and as much as I would assume, and I'm making assumptions here, you'd feed off each other. It had to be intensely comedically competitive.
Well, I'm not a competitive. Well, improv is not competitive
yeah, you're right.
because you have to say yes and
Yeah,
to the other person on
but
stage.
the desire to be the funniest on stage, maybe
I
if they've not
see-
spoken.
Yeah,
maybe
but you have to be successful in order for our sketch to be good. So
Yeah.
you can't be super competitive because then if you don't get laughs, then the sketch fails.
Right.
Why am I answering your question?
Well, the thing is, Matt Besser was interviewing a bunch of people for a book. I hope it comes out because he's talking about our particular time in Chicago. And he says, did you feel you were competitive? I said, I never thought of myself as competitive. I've had people tell me that I'm very driven, but I don't notice it. Like everyone goes, man, you're driven. I'm like, really? To me, I'm just a hard worker. Like I got to go. So that's the way I look at it.
passionate drive and competitiveness are all on the same row.
Here's the other honest thing is I knew I was going to make it. And this is not an arrogance thing. I made my decision and I'm like, I'm just going to make this work.
Yeah.
I didn't have any doubts. So I don't know if that presents itself one way or the other. I certainly was never competitive. I've had guys be competitive with me and I'm curious as to why.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't help you. It doesn't hurt me.
How long were you poor? Were you poor at all?
Because
that matters, obviously, right?
Describe poor, right?
Where you said, maybe I have to do something else in order to have success with this.
Well, no. I had to. I always had a restaurant job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get there and go right to work at Second City.
Right.
You're taking classes for 4 years.
Okay.
Was it Bob Evans or Howard Johnson's?
Bob Evans. I got a job. My first job in Chicago. I think it was. I forget. Des Plaines. I think I got a job because I was working as a restaurant kitchen manager in Missouri before I moved to Chicago. So I thought I had to get a job as a manager, which was a bad idea. So I got there and I got a job at a Bob Evans restaurant as a management trainee. And man, that was tough.
Is that how you got waiting?
I was going to say, did you take that?
It is.
Did you take that into that role waiting, which is such a
100.
beautiful role of a
100.
man that's about to cash in his future for $35,000 a year and a pack of wine coolers. That moment, while hilarious,
wasn't there a line that you took from something that was somebody you worked with?
I don't think I took the line from him, but he was a real kind of a asswipe. Because he thought he was a regional manager.
Yeah.
So he was the big fish, right? And he acted like he's so arrogant.
Yeah.
It was just because I remember I asked, he said, "Do you play softball?" And I was like, "No." I go, "Do you?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "You're righty or lefty?" He just does this. Like, you can't say the word. Okay. Gotcha. Like, I don't care.
You know what they say about left-handed men. Like, what do they say?
It's hilarious.
Let me ask you a question. I've always wanted to know somebody that probably gets offered scripts and gets offered ideas or gigs or things like that. What's the last thing you looked at and turned down? You said no.
It was yesterday. Someone had this small project, and I don't know how much I want to talk about.
Tell to a level of comfort. Or
it wasn't this podcast.
Die Laughing Productions.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's just say, for instance, there are times where you and the agent read it and just agreed that this is a no.
It's not going to.
Now, if it had been a lot of money and it's still bad, you'd probably go, well, I'll tell you this. Piranha 3 Double D.
Okay.
Probably not the most brilliant film,
but you know what? You have daughters going into college. There's mortgages, stuff like that. Are you familiar with David Cross's role in the?
Funny you mentioned David Cross.
David Cross.
Oh yeah,
the Chipmunks.
The Chipmunks movie. Yeah, yeah.
Where he was part of the indie comedy scene, and please stop me if you know this story, but where he was in the indie comedy scene with your Patton Oswalts and Zach Galifianakis and Blaine Capatches of the world, and he was looked as a thinking man's comic and what have you. But in the middle of that, he takes a gig as the villainous record executive in Chipmunks.
Yep.
And I guess Patton gave him some shit as far as going, what are you doing? You're better than this. I'm paraphrasing here. And David Cross merely says, you know what? I've always wanted to own a cabin, and now I own a cabin.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And then Patton Oswalt did Ratatouille.
Yeah. So. And then, okay, well, now I own the entire park your cabin's built on.
Yeah.
But to be able to just do things you want to financially, not everything has to, rewrite the book on comedy and intellectualism. Some can just be a gig.
You've got to decide, look, I'm a character actor. I don't control the movie. I'm just going to do my best in it. So if it's bad, I'm still going to be good in it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of myself. But you can't spend someone else's money. That's what I've realized. I've got 5 kids. That's I don't have choices.
Potent seed.
Huh?
Yeah.
Potent seed.
Yes, potent. Yeah, don't look at me. But no, I don't have choices. Like, I've turned something down before, and I shouldn't have, because I thought I was making a career movie.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's Wolverine?
Because I thought I had just done a parody movie, and I shouldn't do another parody movie back to back, which it doesn't matter.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No one's going to think less.
He's doing too many parody movies.
Yeah, right?
What is this guy? Why is he not in a Coppola production?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned David Cross. You were just
David Cross's 60th birthday was one of the funnest nights of
just
my
there
life.
last
That's
week.
awesome.
Oh my God. 3 weeks ago, I think.
No, was it 2? I think.
Well, I don't know. First week of.
Did he talk about the Chipmunks?
Yeah.
No. It was a surprise party.
It was at his
So
cabin.
I was very happy to be invited and see people I have not seen in 20 years, and all these people whose careers have, gone on from. We were all just kind of, new to television, and then everyone had these long careers, and more people, pop up, and they were all part of David's life throughout this, last 30 years.
Yeah.
And to be invited to that,
Sure.
amazing. And then Bob Mould played.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Really?
From Husker Du.
Like I was going to say, Husker Du, did you do a little acoustic set
Yes.
or?
He did he did electric, and then shoot. His name's just Fred Armisen, then sat in on drums.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
That's
from
awesome.
Portlandia.
Yeah.
He's a real Renaissance man,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Fred Armisen.
Yeah, but he was also in Blue Man Group.
Wait,
He was?
Fred Armisen was in Blue Man
I didn't
Group?
know that.
Yes. Yeah. Look that one up.
Really?
Yeah. Robbie, is he next to a computer?
Yeah,
Yes.
Robbie, look that up.
Robbie with a
Rob,
Y.
Yeah,
find that.
look that
I'd like
up.
to see that.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated with some of your works, and I sometimes wonder if you have like a quiet pet project that's been boiling on a back stove somewhere,
I'll tell you.
something that
We have a lot of screenplay ideas.
I was going to say
Rob,
you spend a lot of time
Yeah.
together. I mean, I can
The
only
Rob
see
Mayer
there's
Chronicles?
something you're working on.
Rob and I have 5 screenplay ideas that are solid that we will never write.
Yeah. We will.
We will. I'm
Well, not all of
currently
them.
trying to put together a podcast. Well,
Okay.
we've done it. So I wanted something that had to do with me going out on the road, because I have to go on the road anyway. So it's called Get Me the Mayor. So then my old assistant, Paige Cloney, I begged her to come back. She'd been in production to come back and help me,
Okay.
do projects just like this. So knocking off one at a time. The first one is a podcast. So we go to a town, we meet the mayor, we meet like 4 or 5 different business owners and get a vibe for the town, right? And then we still haven't edited the first one down. I think we probably have about 60 hours.
It sounds like almost like a comedic.
You were there for a year.
Yeah.
So it's like a travel log.
I hope so. Yeah, because what you don't want it to be is not one thing or another.
Yeah, just
Right,
to be
right.
Just like, what is that?
the 4 guys drunk at a party that have an iPhone go, man, we should have been recording this. And if you do, it's miserable.
Right.
It's no
Right.
good.
So I don't know. It's interesting right now. So it'll be interesting. That's the big side project right now. And then obviously I've got to do a special because I've never done one. And then my agent went out to try to get someone. A couple of people contacted me, so I'll probably do it. I don't know, soon.
If you did a special, where do you think the venue would be? Not a specific. Do you prefer intimate club, low ceiling, something theater, something that might not even be a performance space?
I don't like the flat, what they call the stage when it's all glossy. I don't like a glossy stage.
Right.
But I don't know. Whatever. I don't really have an opinion. That's the last
Scrapyard.
That's the least. Yeah, that's the least of my concerns. It's like just someone wants to do it somewhere. Let's just do it and get it up and get it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't even worry about the aesthetic of it all. Just the
No.
material takes
No.
precedent.
I mean, I should more, but I'd have to wait until it happens.
Okay.
You know, but I guess if you had an idea now, it's going to be closer to fruition rather than just going, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you keep pushing that down the road, then next thing you know, it's been on the road.
you're in a Denny's.
I like the comedy club suiting a special because that plays into you walking into the crowd too.
That's
which
true.
we talked about. And
That's true.
I just think that's more of a real comedy.
It's hard to do that in an
experience.
amphitheater. It's like a natural
Yeah.
comedy space right now. A friend of ours named Nick Mullen from around here has got a great new special, Year of the Dragon, and it's shot in a very low ceiling comedy club. DC Improv is one of our favorite places to be. You got that low ceiling that really shotguns that audio to and from.
Yep.
And for someone like you that gets out there and moves around some, I would love to see that. Another thing I've always been curious about with somebody that's such a good improver is you, is I've always been fascinated from moments and scripts and TV shows where you just decided, hey, can I try something real quick? This isn't, we think we got the take. Can I try something strange for a second? And it was so brilliant or so different than what the writer director were thinking. They said, my God, we have to keep that. I mean,
that would be a great story.
With you.
God, if it only happened.
To me, it's like whatever. It's like water. And I don't mean it's not precious. It is. But you're just doing your job. Now, on Anchorman, we improvised all the time. But we got Adam McKay, who's an improviser, who knows what he's looking for. He knows how he's going to use it already. McKay's one of the brightest guys I've ever met in my life. I would just say his brain has its own gravitational pull. He's just white hot smart. So he knew how he was going to use all the improvisation. Plus, the other thing it did is it made everybody chemically react differently as actors because you've really got to listen. Because I don't know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So your job as an actor is really supposed to be listening.
Be in that moment to react off.
But when you're improvising, you have to.
Yeah.
Because all I know is what you just said. It's not the script. It's not, it's not memorized.
So you might have something queued up to pull the trigger on, but if they say something else, you got to go with it.
It charges the scene in a different way.
Okay.
Speaking of improv, I know you were on Curb, right? And the idea, and this is what we've always heard, is that essentially you get a premise and then they just leave you to your own devices. Is that true?
Yeah. They kind of give you an outline of where the scene's going to go. That's what Larry does. They put the bullet points of where the scene needs to go, hit these points, and then that's that. And that was a lot of fun. And I was told by one of the directors that I did one episode as as Joseph.
And I remember it's the one where Larry got the pubic hair caught in his throat. Yeah.
Yes. And Larry had said to the director, man, what would have happened if we didn't get that guy? He was just great. It was nice. He gave me a nice.
He called you that guy? He didn't know who you were?
I don't know. Whatever.
But you better have an elite level cast to be able to pull off a show like that. Because I can see with Adam McKay, there's definitely a script. He wants you guys to improv some. But on a show like Curb, where like instead of A, B, C, D, E all the way to Z, they go, here's A, here's M, here's Z, and fill in the blanks. You have to have an elite level group of improvers like the kind you came up with.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Garland, Richard Lewis,
right? But those are guys that are regulars, and they can do it. But you know how many guys they have to get. How many David Koechners are there? Because that shows
you
how
are
many
a rare
seasons,
breed,
right? But they have hundreds of roles.
You too much, Dave?
Asking people to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They even had the guy from Survivor. He never did on there. Yeah.
Well, but Larry can guide. They shoot in such a way that Larry can stop the scene and guide it.
Tell him what to say or what.
Tell him what to say.
Yeah.
That could be that case.
Yeah. Let's move away from this a little bit. I want to talk about the guy that's at the end there.
Intimacy coordinator.
Rob was the best man at my wedding. I don't know if you know
okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm a little threatened by whatever that I don't love it. Whatever it is, what it is, right? It is.
He's processing.
But I do want you
Would
to
I
know.
be the best man at your wedding, Dave? If you get married?
My next one, no,
Yeah.
one of my sons.
Oh, damn it! Well, that's fair.
Would Rob be
That's fair.
invited?
I
Is the real
beat-
question.
I beat out Joe's son.
I'd make you be the minister.
Flower girl.
Yeah.
Actually, I am registered at the Universal
All
Life
right,
Church,
yeah.
and I do
But,
work.
but
with chicken
and
tenders.
if Rob doesn't want me to say it's too late, but you changed his life. I don't know if you know that,
I don't
but you
know
did. Yeah. So Rob, I remember saying, no, I'm gonna be a comic. That's what I'm gonna do, just like you did. And I even remember, I don't want to go too far off the rails, but I remember him talking about when he in a relationship he was in where things might not have been going financially the way he wanted to go. He goes, listen, if you make me go get a job, I might resent that. This is something I might never recover from. And he's had a couple relationships with different comics because he's great at comedy, and they've taken him under his, I don't know, under his wing is not the right way to say it, but he's taken them along. Tiffany Haddish he's worked with, for Tommy Davidson he's worked with, but you're the first one to say, all right, you're my guy, and now you'll come along, and you've essentially, I don't know, Rob, am I talking out of school? You gave him a career, and now he's thriving. He's better than he's ever been.
He buys his dinner.
Yeah, he buys us dinner. I don't have to buy his dinner anymore.
It's amazing.
You know how many dinners I bought for this guy? It's
Quite a
crazy.
few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'd say it's a mutually beneficial relationship, because we've built this unique show that I don't think a lot of people do. Like
Nobody does the banter, though.
Right, that we do,
The
which
in
is a lot of
between.
fun.
Also, a
Yeah.
two-man show too.
Right.
A unique
Mhm.
premise or a unique lineup that most standard comedy shows, MC, feature, headliner, occasionally guest set, but you guys, a two-man show,
hey,
and that's
real
it.
quick, how often do they try to shove some MC
It
in you?
happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
then you say
Yeah.
no.
They don't read contracts a lot, so it
Yeah.
does happen.
Yeah.
And look,
I did hear about an MC showing up recently and being like, "You can feel free to watch, but you're not getting on stage."
Did I say it?
Well,
No,
San
just
Diego, that guy.
someone just
that
showed
guy-
up.
Yeah,
Well, the problem with San Diego was I was irritated that someone wanted
That was
to
on
jump,
the heels of the other
to
thing.
jump me in my green room.
Yeah,
Then they show up with a host, and our contract is a 2-man show.
and
Not-
we were just there a year ago. They know that.
Yes. So, like you guys, I just felt even more disrespected. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't say I was going to let him do the show.
Right.
He decided to leave.
But it kind of messes with the feng
Do
shui.
you feel there's too many people here?
No.
Okay, good.
Brittany writes
Good.
in chat, it feels like Joe is peeing on Rob, marking his territory.
Oh, wow.
Which brings me
No,
to
I'm
my
cool
next
with it.
point
I'm cool
here.
with it. I'm
David
cool with it.
Koechner, Joe Robinson,
doing this?
we've
Okay.
prepared a little something here that I would love to run by you, and this is courtesy of the matriarch of DLP, beautiful Katie Robinson, her garden upstairs you got to meet. She had a great idea saying, Joe, you were, when you got married, Rob was your best man.
He was.
David Koechner, this is probably
Was
the
it?
greatest relationship. There it is right there. We got a little something
Oh,
here.
okay.
Thank you so much. That probably the greatest
Oh.
relationship Rob has
Oh,
had
it's
for
a gay
years.
show.
Here we go.
It's now. It's now
So
a gay
we're going to
show.
play a game called Who Knows Rob Better?
God,
Now
my
we're gonna-
penmanship is shit.
We're going to ask you a series of questions.
All right.
Rob knows the answers to these, and I have some additional ones. We'll watch out now.
Sorry.
Where we're going to ask you a series of questions, and you gentlemen will write your answers down, and you'll
Okay.
reveal. And we'll see who knows Rob Mayer better. At the end of it, gets to keep Rob.
A lot of pressure.
Wow.
I might
Yeah,
just, I might just throw it.
All right.
Touche.
All right, we're going to start off something very simple,
All right.
very basic, very common.
I'm confident on Dave
should
on this
know.
one because of a recent conversation.
Question 1, who knows Rob Mayer better? What's Rob's birthday?
Oh
Oh,
fuck.
nice.
Okay.
All right.
Dave, really quickly with an answer.
God.
Ma'am.
No,
Yes.
I don't know the year. I know the date.
A birthday
okay.
that will live in infamy.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'll give you a hint, Joe. You should never forget it.
Oh, hey, no hints. No hints.
He's already writing.
Nope.
He needs help.
All right.
During football season.
Ah!
Oh, September 12th.
Yes.
All right. 1
Mm.
point on the board
Jeez.
Yes.
for David Koechner.
Yes. Mario and Brittany
Can
want
I-
to play as well.
Can I also say that Rob doesn't like his birthday?
Oh,
No.
I don't know if you know that.
He does
doesn't.
not like
He
having it
doesn't
celebrated.
put it
Was that a
on.
question? Yeah.
He doesn't. Oh, is it?
No.
He doesn't put it on Facebook because he doesn't want to have to. He doesn't want to have to respond to everybody that says
Oh,
happy
that's
birthday.
true.
I just don't do it anyway.
It didn't
Yeah.
give me a point.
All right. Question number 2 on who knows Rob Mayer better. A person near and dear, close confidant, friend. Hell, she's almost DLP adjacent at this
Yes.
point. We love seeing
You
her.
saw her last night.
Tawanda, a dear
Yes,
old
yes.
friend of Rob's.
Yes.
How do you spell Tawanda?
Oh.
Mm.
Here we are. The
Steph
answers
says
are
we
right
love you.
there.
Happy late birthday.
Here we go. Okay, and
G-A-W-A-N-D-A.
A point
Well
for
done.
each. There we
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
All right,
Damn,
Joe,
right.
nipping
Yeah.
at Mr. Koechner's heels.
Pressure's on. Can you keep
All
that
right.
lead? Right now, Dave, you control your destiny.
Yeah,
You
right.
never
If
get
you
one
win out,
right.
I can't.
Yeah,
I lose
you
Rob.
can't catch up.
Yeah, Rob is ostracized
Yeah.
forever and forever haunts the road with you.
Mhm.
Question 3. How many siblings does Rob Mayer have?
Ooh,
How do you
many
define
siblings?
sibling?
Right.
I know
Okay,
this. So
Okay. Damn it.
I'm going to bet neither one of you know.
You're right.
Yeah.
We might have a push here. We might have a
I
push.
don't have to say boys and girls. Just
No, just a number.
Yeah, just give us a number here. Okay, 360.
So he has a half brother and a stepsister.
Oh, I wrote 3.
He wrote 3 step. Rob, the correct answer?
Okay, I have a half brother, a stepsister, and 3 stepbrothers.
All right, so
Oh.
0 points on the
I
board.
just went and played golf. We had a whole
Yes.
Yeah, the stepsister, right?
stepbrother.
Oh, I thought that was
Yes.
the stepbrother.
That's
So
okay.
We both lost.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
both
both lost.
Good,
It
good.
is still.
Although-
it is still.
Dave was closer because you had 3 total.
Right, but I
You
didn't
had
know the
2.
half brother. I actually
Yeah.
knew you had a half brother.
Okay, that's fair.
Rob, how many siblings do I have?
Oh God, is it?
Who knows David Koechner better?
That's a good. It's.
I actually know.
I think it's 5.
Yes.
Yes.
So we just were hanging out with him. We were in
Yeah.
Colorado.
Who's your
today.
favorite?
Yeah.
All of them. I love
There's
them.
Yeah.
definitely
I
a
love
favorite. You can
everybody.
tell us when's
Well,
mics are on.
well, Mark, you and Mark were there in Virginia Beach when
Yep.
you flew down the next day to Miami for the Chiefs Super Bowl, the first one they
The
won.
first
in
time
this-
we beat San
in
Francisco.
this Mahomes Reed incarnation.
I love this next one, Rob. This one really tickles me pink right here.
All right.
Okay. What is Rob's favorite color?
Oh,
You should
well,
know this.
hold on.
Very interesting.
Hmm.
Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
I'm loving the answers.
Yeah.
I think we're going to put points on the board.
Yeah.
Ah.
And you're both correct. He is colorblind. Rob sees in 1940s cinema. That's right.
Hey,
yeah.
Dave knows his Rob.
Yeah.
Dave knows his Rob.
Brittany said red. Area said black women. Actually, blue would be my favorite color.
Mhm.
You don't even know what blue is.
As in
Continue.
I doesn't mean- I don't.
Whatever his idea of blue.
Yeah.
We were looking for colorblind.
We
Yeah.
were looking for colorblind. You
Yeah.
are correct. It is a trick question.
All right.
He does not have one.
Either way, we both got it wrong.
Rob,
Or we both got
okay.
it
Does not know what
Got it.
color
Right.
is. All right.
So if you can't play an instrument, I can't have a favorite.
It's either
instrument.
black or white.
I can't sing. I can't have a favorite singer.
He
I don't know.
thinks-
I can't sing.
He thinks Tawanda is Korean. All right. Number 5. What is the name of Rob's special? What is the name of Rob's special?
I don't even know what it's called. Which one are you talking about?
Here we are. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's all I know.
Do we have points on the board? Hold on. It's Dry Bar Comedy. We got a point
that's,
for each.
That's the company that did
I
it,
know.
but that's you guys did well. So
Is it Once You Go White?
no, that's the name of an.
There
album.
is another CD has
it's-
called It Takes a Village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's if you can make it here because I came out and we're in Utah and I go, hey, if you make it here, you can make it. Oh, there's no song for this.
God, I
one.
wish
I
I
gotta
said,
laugh.
I
I
wish
go,
I said that.
I go, that should be the special.
I wouldn't be behind
Yes,
right now.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Next question.
Comedy the
here.
14 of their album. Good job, Rodney.
And who knows Rob Mayer better? How many stages has Rob fallen off of?
What? That's not fair.
How many stages has Rob fallen off
Hold
of?
on.
Hmm.
See,
A great
that
story.
happened before me.
It did, but a
Well,
great story.
You get
told.
credit for knowing
I
that, though.
want to challenge the question
Mhm.
because it predates me.
This
Well,
is
it's
pure
part
Rob.
of how well I know him,
He
right?
had a
But I have
birthday
his-
before he knew you.
I'm just-
Yeah.
I'm
He
just
had. He's
guessing.
always been colorblind.
I said 3.
Okay.
It is one.
All right,
is
we're
one.
tied. All
Yeah,
right.
now we're tied. Even
I-
though there could have been ones you've never told us about, so
Yeah.
we might find out and have to change
That's
the
true.
results.
I
at some
famously was really drunk and tired at a show that Joe was at, and I was supposed to do 15 minutes. I did 30. The mic cord came out. I didn't realize that he had to come and see. I couldn't put it back in.
Oh wow.
I said thank you, good night, and I fell off.
point.
And then
fucking
threw up
cannonballed
in the
into crowd.
elevator.
Let me tell you the end of that story.
Yeah.
Rob called me the next day. He said, he goes, "Hey man, what should I do?" I said, "Well, call the club and talk to Chip, who was a manager, and just say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, and I won't drink there anymore." He goes, "Well, I'm not going to do that."
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he got to work the club. They
There you
called
go.
him 3 days later. He got to work.
They like
Yeah.
honesty.
I had an Uncle Steve on my grandfather's side who got into a little bit of the trouble with the law, with the drinking and driving, and he stopped driving.
Yeah, that's
He
the
just
way to do it.
continued to kiss the bottle and just got rides to work. That's
All right.
dedication.
That
to
is
booze.
dedication.
When it's like, guess I'm
Safer.
done driving
Yeah.
from now on.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said upstairs prior to the podcast,
Mm.
I come from and will die within pure white trash.
Yes.
Number 6, does David Koechner and does Rob Mayer, Joe Robinson, remember where they first performed together
Oh, they
Might have
said
given
it
away
earlier.
that
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Might have given that away earlier.
Yes.
I'm just gonna do the initials because
Well, we
both
need
know
a
what that
bonus
is.
then, don't we?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I did the initials. Do I
Bonus
need to write it
question.
You
out?
know it.
Hold on.
I mean, you said the cemetery. So it's
Yes.
just, I know you're thinking of. Yeah.
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 I know the city you're saying.
We're in Annapolis, and
Yeah.
it's tripping me up.
Yes.
Yes.
It's an A.
Yes.
If you say the cemetery, you know it's the city with the Arlington Cemetery.
Yes.
Arlington
I'm-
Cemetery.
Yep,
Yep.
We're gonna give you that.
We're gonna give him that point right
All
there.
right, all right.
Also, how about this bonus point? Do you recall the first city they ever did office trivia in?
Oh,
That's
that's not fair. He was there. All right.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yes.
You were there for falling off the stage.
Yes,
All right,
you were there.
I'm gonna.
You remember, Dave?
First city.
Well, I know.
Um,
I might get it wrong.
Hold on.
All right, hold
I
on.
think he might be right. Hold on.
Spelled this wrong.
is it
You're fine.
that?
I get it. Hold on.
Gary, Indiana. No.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greenville, South
South
Carolina.
Oh, yes! Oh, thank God.
Oh,
I
God.
got it wrong.
Oh.
Okay, but it was close.
All right. Here's another one here. Let me pull this up. Fill in the blank, please. Once you go white, you will remain blank. Okay. There we
I know
are.
this one.
Yes,
There we are.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
Tight.
There we are.
There you
Tight.
go.
Ah,
Wow.
okay.
You guys know
That's a
this.
softball right there.
That's
Yeah.
a chip shot right there.
Yeah.
And Katie, I need you to feed me more questions.
Oh, it's it. It's a
We
tie.
might have a tie. There's going to be a custody agreement between these.
You know
two.
what? I'll get every
All right.
other weekend, and you can
Does
have
either one of
Monday.
you know my mother's first name?
Robert.
I don't know your
I don't
mother's
think
first
you
name.
do.
Roberta Mayer.
Do
Okay.
you know his middle name?
Yes, it's what is it?
Whoa, that's
I
the
think-
tiebreaker.
I think I do.
Okay.
Is it Douglas?
Nope. It's Henry.
Hey!
Oh, that's right, it is.
David Koechner with the win.
Yes.
I just found out. Jimmy. Hey, good game. Good game. Oh my God.
Well, that's not fair. 'Cause I
Douglas?
brought up a question. I know the answer.
no, that's
Which he
you
should
can have
known
him.
the answer
Yeah,
to.
you should.
By
There
the way,
we
that's
are.
my nephew's name. I did know that.
You know that. You should
Yeah,
know.
of
You're
course.
Excellent
Mitchell,
work.
right?
That's
Thank you,
right. It is
gentlemen.
Mitchell. That's
Yeah,
right.
I'll
When's my
leave these
birthday?
Here
When's
for
my
now.
birthday?
Oh
Nice.
shit!
Yeah.
It's early December, late November, somewhere in
Yeah,
that.
you got it.
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to
You just-
discuss,
I did say
football.
I did say during football
Football
season.
season is 6 months long.
Yeah. Well, not for all teams.
Okay.
For his team, but not for all teams.
Yeah, some people consider maybe a training camp and
Yeah.
draft all that. At the
For the
beginning of, but-
Commanders, it's 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
It's 5 weeks long.
I had forgotten his birthday last weekend, and we were with my production partner Paige, and we were talking about birthdays.
Mhm.
And I thought Rob's was September 10th.
Mhm.
I knew he was a Virgo. I knew it was
Mhm.
like in the first 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
it's actually the 12th. So I would have gotten that
Something
wrong.
historical happened near it, but I can't put
Yes.
my finger on it.
Well, you're August
Yes.
24th.
Yes.
You're in the February
Got it.
range
Mhm.
because it's like the middle
Same month as
10th or
Katie's.
something. I'm
Yeah.
just guessing. It's somewhere in February.
Actually, Dave, I'm glad you're here because you are 1 week away from a pretty significant anniversary on this show.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the legend at this point. I believe it'll be 5 years
Really?
next week on
Yeah.
April 23rd
Yes.
of a pretty famous instance of Joe Robinson that we've found different
Yeah.
ways to celebrate throughout
Yes.
the years. We returned to the scene of the crime. There were Bible readings, some mariachi music playing. I believe the year was 2019, Joe.
Mhm, mhm.
Next week, April 23rd, in the year of our Lord, 2024, Dave, that Joe Robinson had one of the biggest accidental pant shitting in the changing room of a
no.
Kohl's.
Well, actually, that's not true. It was not in the
No.
changing room. I was. Have you been in a Kohl's before?
Yes.
They have
Okay.
Kohl's
Department store.
cash.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's valid
So let's
legal
say
tender.
this is the Kohl's.
All right,
Okay.
right here you go.
You're
Yeah,
drawing a
and-
picture.
And if I was looking for a shirt and I was here, that's when I said, "Oh no," because I tried to do one thing and something else.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
The bathroom was there.
Oh.
Right.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
had to,
Maneuver.
navigate
Yeah.
all the way
Slalom.
through. Right. Slalom through there. And by the time I got there, I had to, I had to take my underwear. I had to leave it in the Kohl's.
Yeah.
And also then I
buy
also
new
had to go
underwear.
buy new underwear and pants. Right. At
Oh.
the Kohl's. I had to do both. So I had told these guys this story, and now it was 2 years ago that my wife said, "Oh, I have to go return something," and
No.
these guys were all at Kohl's.
Yes.
and they were there cheering me on,
Did
celebrating,
well on TikTok.
celebrating,
Great on TikTok.
celebrating my anniversary.
Yeah.
And
What did you eat?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Oh.
If I had, obviously, I would archive that. I would never
Now,
ever eat that.
I
again.
think the better story is when you were in the looking in the model home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
Did
is
you
what we're
shit your
doing.
pants again?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well,
what
no,
happened?
he made
He's
it.
got a very slack hole.
Yeah.
So what happened was we were looking at a house that was at the height of COVID. We didn't even know what COVID was. So we didn't go anywhere near one
You
another.
touch a doorknob, you get it.
And so what happened was the realtors go, all right, you look at the inside and we'll look at the outside and then we'll reverse.
Uh-huh.
Well, when I went to the outside, I was like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, there wasn't an option. Right. So, but I'm also with people, I don't really know them that well. I'm also, and I go, hey, I can't remember what I said, because I didn't say I had to go to the bathroom. Oh, I did. I said, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. And I go in and I just fucking destroy this bathroom. And then I look up. There's no toilet paper.
Of course, it's a model home.
Ornamental soaps.
Yeah.
I mean, does the toilet even work?
There's
Yes,
no.
it's not even hooked up to plumbing. There's no water.
You know what else?
There's no
There's no soap.
Right?
There's nothing to dry your hands with.
No.
Okay.
Clean stuff up with.
So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
Didn't buy that
literally
house.
I turned on the faucet and I bidetted myself in the sink of that
Oh my god.
of that house.
They got it. And Dave,
And
you're sitting in that very house. in that
No,
very
it
chair.
was not this house, but I remember. But I was also trying to do it quickly,
Okay.
because when there's duration, they think you're
Yeah,
you're
sure.
doing something else.
you were.
So
No.
I don't even know why I did this, but we were wearing gloves. This is how early it was. People
Oh,
were
right,
wearing
right,
gloves. They
right,
didn't
right.
know what COVID was. So I went to the bathroom and I tried to go quickly and I bidetted myself. And it was winter and
Oh.
my asshole had water on it. I pulled my wet pants up. And then I don't even know why I did this, but I go, oh, I walked out. I go, oh, I left my gloves in there. And who gives a shit, right? Why do I even care that I
He
leave my
went
gloves
back
in
into
there?
the bathroom, Dave, and signed the wall.
No, but what happened was the husband of the realtor. He goes, oh, I'll go get him. And at that point, he goes back
No.
in, and this is the nicest guy. And when he came back out, he was a different person. I'm telling you.
Change. She
He was
changed
like,
her life.
He was like, okay, well, we'll see you guys. He was his fucking face.
The house is
Yes.
no longer for sale.
How mortified was Katie?
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't tell Katie.
Good.
I got in the car and we drove home. And then like
Waited till the
4
wedding
days
night.
later,
I did
right?
it in
4
the
days
best man
later,
speech.
we had a friend over, Erica, who I'd mentioned before, and I go, hey, I got to tell you a story, because she would have been mortified
Yeah.
having just done that, and I confessed it 4 days later.
That's
Oh.
smart. Yeah, you gave it a little time.
So
to-
you didn't buy that
Yeah.
house. Did you ever talk to those realtors again?
Matter of fact, we did, and she does know that story from listening to this show.
Ah,
Didn't know, yeah,
Isn't
and
this
also
some family
also
friend or
her
something?
her husband. Yes, she is a family. She's was, but yeah, no, I'm sure her husband had already told her. It wasn't.
Yeah.
she was just putting all the pieces together.
Sure,
which you're
sure.
right.
And so he doesn't have to swim in a sea of embarrassment on his
Oh,
own,
we're
Dave. There
sharing.
was a time, myself, and this is a true story. These guys know this, that I'm on stage. I have a headlining set. I'm about 20 minutes in,
No.
and it's not feeling great. And I'm doing everything I can to go, all right, I think I could stave this off, and I can't. It's one of the
It's
either
coming.
we're going to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom or I'm going to the bathroom. My
Yes.
body says. So I go, you know what?
Shit.
I'm good at improv. I'm going to take this wireless microphone and I'm heading right into that bathroom and I'm going to continue doing my
Mhm.
set
God.
from
He's an artist.
the bathroom. I paint in the color of hazelnut. And I had a friend come out on stage and act out physically
That's awesome.
what I
Yes.
was saying. And for 15 to 20 minutes,
What?
I ate shit and got no laughs. When I tell you,
but he didn't know.
I took a shit and ate shit
Yeah.
at the same time. I believe I had a drunk wander into the bathroom and just start talking to me in the middle because he just hears me talking through the bathroom divider going, hey, whatever happened to that one dude that used to work at the station that drove his car into the other car? What happened to that guy? I'm like, sir, I know it doesn't look like it,
Yeah.
but I am headlining right now.
Oh, my
And I
God.
come out to a sea of disinterest.
Oh.
I mean, a sea of like,
so don't do
That
that.
was
That's
that
what
we
he's
paid
saying.
for.
That was at Magoobys. Yeah.
I was at Magoobys. Yes.
Brittany says Dave just told all these great stories, and you guys are like, listen to this one time I shit myself.
It's the best story I have.
Yeah,
All right.
this is all we've got.
Adam McKay's a genius. He shit his pants in a cold. So
Yeah. Okay. I crap my pants at Magoobys.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen to me on Mike O'Mara's show. It aired today. Check that out. Our buddies Rob and Mike have transformed to a 2-man show.
Love you, Mike. Love you, Spiewak.
Is it called anything different now?
The Mike O'Mara
The Mike
show.
O'Mara show.
We have thanks to Brittany.
Oh, we gotta break these things out. By the way, watch out now. We have a pretty big reveal, right? We got to show this thing off. Whoa, hold on now. Oh, thank you, Randolph.
Thank you to our buddy Randolph. Thank you to Brittany for a design idea, and thank you to Dave Dennis for putting this together. It is the official Die Laughing Productions T-shirt.
Rotate that a little bit towards that camera. There you go, right there.
There you go.
Look at that. 100% asbestos made by children and a Pyongyang sweatshop. It cost a nickel to make, and we're going to sell them for $25.
I wore that.
Rice Mirtha Prosaurus on the back, representing the DL people. There's a QR code to everything Die Laughing Productions and the DLP Agenda.
I think the first time they're going to be for sale next week. Magoobys for my show.
Wednesday.
Malarkey, Falsehood, and Lies, True Stories I Made Up. Magoobys.
Just real quick, I wore that. Yeah, apologies. The 24th of this month at Magoobys.
Yeah,
I wore that shirt for I was the maiden voyage. I wore it to
an Orioles game.
Yep, Jackson Holliday's home debut, and he struck out 4 times.
Okay,
so I don't think it has anything to do with the shirt.
I don't know.
The shirt is.
Do it again.
Yeah, good. So $25. Come to Magoobys. You see you're working out your I'm curious.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Have you heard of a show like this, Dave? Tell us what you're doing.
I'm working on a special myself in the fall that I'm going to do. I did an hour a decade ago, and I didn't like it, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a redemption hour later on this year. I'm just putting it on YouTube. Nothing special. But this is essentially going to be a paid open mic of sorts where I have asked these guys. I tend to tell a long-winded tale.
Okay.
So for a 5 to 7 minute long open mic set, I don't have time to work these stories out. And I have about 6 or 7 I'd like to tell. And I am going to be doing a one-man show of basically storytelling of things that I know there are nuggets in that I can mine for something larger, but I need to tell them to an audience that I'm going to be grabbing things out of for future sets. But I mean, these are going to be some longer 10, 12 minute long stories that I think will be entertaining. I don't think people are going to be doubled over in their chairs laughing, but this will be some of the first time I've ever told some of these stories. And I'm probably going to be seated half the time. I have a tendency to move around a little bit like you do, crowd work. This is not going to be that. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's called Malarkey, Falsehood, and Lies, True Stories I Made Up. It's a lot of exaggerations of stuff that's actually happened. And I'm going to find out where the funny is in a paid show. Now, it's not going to be like, terribly expensive, but it's still going to be in a comedy club setting. And I'm making it apparent to the people that are there. You're getting raw, unfinished. I've never done this stuff before.
They're rooting for you.
Do you watch the Food Network at all? Do you watch cooking shows at all ever?
Occasionally,
but I like watching the process of the cooking, of the baking, of the creation,
everyone
of the grilling.
They're very popular.
And a lot of times when you see a comedy special, a really good one, Nate Bargatze comes to mind, anything Stavros, anything, pick your poison out there right now.
Shane Gillis.
You see Gillis, great one. David Tell's one, Scoville's, brilliant. Well, you get to see the cooked dish.
Right.
That's it. You get to see it's finished. But how many times do they burn it? How many times did they overseason it? How many times did they botch the side dish? How many times did they?
Why are you not just doing chunks? Like you'll just go do 15 minutes and then.
The issue is the times of some of these stories I kind of have timed out. They're too long for open mic sets.
Okay.
And I work 98 Rock, where you've been. You're gracious enough to be a host of ours, a guest. And open mics are Mondays through Thursdays. I wake up at 3 a.m.
Oh,
most open mics get started about 8 or 9, and they get 8 or 9 downtown in DC and Baltimore. I'm in bed at about 7. This is a late night for me. I'll be home and in bed in about 30 minutes.
At 3 a.m.
I'm up at 3 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh boy,
and that's 5 days a week. So to be able to, I have to make my own stage time.
Yeah,
it's hard to do a regular open mic showcase, stretch yourself out.
Almost impossible.
So it's hard. So I get my shows where I can get them.
Right.
But I need to take one big one in here and play around. Take a big one on the 23rd in honor of Joe. Hey,
two big ones.
Come out on the 24th and celebrate what he did in his pants on the 23rd. So it's going to be a storytelling show of a lot of unfinished concepts, but I'm making it clear to the crowd. You're going to be there for the creation of this, and you're going to see failings.
Love it.
And you might find gems. You might be like, I was there when he.
You're recording this, obviously.
Well, we had a friend of ours. I'm going to record all of it. We had a friend of ours, Nick Mullen, who I continue to sing the praises of, Year of the Dragon, who he came to Magoobys. and we got to see him have the light bulb moment of his closer that became the closer on his special.
Oh, okay.
And Joe even went up to him and goes, "That joke right there, that's the closer." Fast forward, 7 months later, it was the closer.
Yeah.
And
It's mostly me.
It was Joe. He did it for him.
Did he
So,
shoot it at Magoobys? That's a
He
great,
did not.
that's
He
a
shoot
great
it-
club.
it's a
So
great
shoot it
I think it's
at-
in New
Great
York, right?
owner.
Looks like.
No, the guy's amazing. The guy, Andrew Unger, that runs the thing. Also, if you are in an airport somewhere, your hotel, 20 minutes to kill, go to the Google reviews.
Mhm.
And for the most part, 4.5 out of 5 stars. But occasionally, someone gets a hair up their ass
Right.
and they get a little froggy. Drinks weren't served quick enough, didn't like what the feature had to say, thought it took too long to get in, and they'll write a little something. Andrew responds to every one of them.
Yeah, and not
when I tell
not
you-
diplomatically.
He goes fucking scorched her.
Yeah.
You better be right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
You
have
better be right.
You
Because
better
he
have
remembers. He'll say,
receipts.
"No, you guys were
It
drunk."
stays there. The reply
Yeah.
stays there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
he
they're hilarious.
wants it to stay there.
He wants the smoke.
He run towards it. Yeah.
He sees
Yeah.
to it. You will never come back to my club.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's immaculate because
Yeah.
he knows the quality of club he runs,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of these, I'm going to guess 4 out of 5 of them are without merit. It's a lot of people.
They're just
You
drunk and they
we even-
spilled a drink on themselves. and they wanna
Exactly.
And well, I
complain.
also say if I didn't know and I read those reviews, I'd be like, I'm going to that club.
I'm going to that club.
I'm going there.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and then you click on that person's profile that's complaining, and you can see all their prior reviews: 1 star, 1.5 stars.
Yeah, that's
they hate
just,
everything.
that's their vibe.
That's their
what
person.
they do. Yeah.
But man, is it worth spending time in a concourse just seeing double guns, iron on his hip,
Wow.
blasting his 6 guns at something? It's great.
Wow.
David, thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks,
Dave
man. It's fun,
Koechner,
right?
God bless.
We're
This is
on
great.
I
road.
appreciate
Yeah.
you, man.
all
so much.
year.
Thank you, sir.
Check out the
Thanks, bro.
schedules, davidkoechner.com, obviously robmayer.com as well. And we'll see you April 24th at Magoobys. And it's just buy the shirts, people.
Buy the shirts.
Thank
These are going to
you.
be the
Thank
first place.
you. Yes.
What are they going to go for?
$25.
$25.
There we
Please
go.
buy them. Buy 2. Scan the back. New episode of Laughs Count Anywhere is up behind
Yes,
the
out
Patreon
right now.
paywall. Thank you to all of our new YouTube followers that came out tonight.
Appreciate you.
DLP Agenda on Patreon. And we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
All right.
Hey, it's Justin from the DLP Agenda, welcoming to the Die Laughing family GRB Roofing. GRB Roofing in Bowie, Maryland. Think about it. Your roof, the roof on your home, the roof on your business, it covers all your stuff. Yeah, you could do without a front door. Maybe you could put a piece of plastic over a window. But a roof? You gotta have a roof. You gotta have a top-tier roof. You gotta have a roofing company like GRB Roofing that's gonna take amazing care of you. How do I know they're gonna? How about 65 years of collective experience? How about 700 plus projects completed beautifully, successfully? Go to grbroofing.com right now. Get your free quote today, and they're going to take amazing care of you. Commercial, residential, exterior home improvements, deck and fencing. I can't wait to use them. My house, total dump. Every day, I want to go on my roof. I want to take myself a crowbar, and I want to rip up the entire daggone thing. You know what's going to happen after I have a flipped out moment? A, I'm going to calm myself. B, I'm going to make a therapy appointment, and then I'm immediately going to get a hold of GRB Roofing. Again, give them a call, 443-699-6192. That's 443-699-6192, or go to grbroofing.com. That's grbroofing.com. It's your roof. It covers all your stuff. Hey, it's Justin here from the DLP Agenda, and from time to time you hear us coming on, having some fun alongside our friend Randolph Rice and everybody at Rice, Mirtha, Pesaurus. But I want to make sure you know, what we love and appreciate about Rice, Mirtha, and Pesaurus, your personal injury lawyers. They're the absolute best. They have 120 years of combined trial lawyer experience in Maryland state and federal court. I want you to get a hold of them 24 hours a day if you need a personal injury lawyer by calling 301-753-3440. That's 301-753-3440. Or again, go to ricelawmd.com. They are ready to fight for the best possible outcome in your case at Rice, Mirtha, and Pesaurus. So contact them today. Schedule a free case review and schedule a time to sit down and talk about your challenging legal issues. Tell them the DLP Agenda sent you. Rice, Mirtha, and Pesaurus, ricelawmd.com, your official injury lawyers.